Hello everyone. Y'all must have already played Star Academy Cobblemon. We all know what it looks like. This is the world that the pack developer as well as his friends play on. It's part of the mod pack on CodeSforge. Just download the latest version. You'll have Star Academy world in here. If you have this and you want to play on it in multiplayer with friends, you'll need to make a server. Now, to make a server for this mod pack, what you'll need is to get yourself Java 17. So we need to make sure that we've got Java 17. This link will be in the description. Java 17.013. I'm on Windows. I downloaded the exe. You install this. Doesn't take that long. Once you've installed it, I'd recommend you just make a folder. Call this Star Academy. Server for what you can call it anything. It's, for me, this is easy. You open the folder. Inside this folder, we're gonna put the second thing we need to download. Now, the only reason I'm telling you to download Java 17 is because I've seen people get this error message, and I don't know if you can see my mouse properly, but right, you should be able to see it. Right about at the second line, it'll say more recent version of Java runtime, class file version 61. This version of Java runtime only recognizes class files versions up to 55. This means that the person, or in this case, me, for me, this wasn't 55, it was 60, but I've got Java 16. The files for this require Java 17 to run, at least for the server. If you can already play the mod pack, that makes that Java 8, I'm pretty sure it runs on it, but the server itself will require Java 17. You will download the executable server.jar. This is also a link I'll have in the description. You'll need Minecraft version 120.1. You gotta scroll down a bit. 121. See, it's even further down, right here. Fabric loader version 16.9. Installer version 101 is fine. Press executable server.jar. Now, that will download this file for you. That file, I need to download again. Now think about it, because I already used it in a different one. You take that file, you can Control X or cut. My system is in Dutch, so you probably won't understand. Paste it in here, either right click paste or Control V. Once it's in there, you can double click it if you want. Or you can already do the next step, which is what I'd recommend. You create a text file, call this start. Then the txt at the end, make it say .bat. It'll give you a message like, are you sure you want to do this? Just press yes. Right click, modify. Inside here, you'll be putting the line that you can find right here on the Fabric download site, the launch command. Copy it, paste it in there, change the 2G to, let's say, 8 gigs. It doesn't really matter too much as long as you're between 6 and 10. The server should run. If your CPU is fine enough, it should help. And you need to have enough RAM, of course, to allocate. Let's honestly do 6 gigs because I don't have that much RAM to use when I'm running Minecraft at the same time. And I want to make sure that the recording is smooth. So once that is inside the start.bat, I personally don't like having no GUI at the back, so I remove it. Let's leave it in there for this tutorial's sake. If it's in there, what'll happen when you go into this file, you press start.bat, it'll open your CMD like this, and right here you can see what we just typed, the Java, well, copy pasted, 6 gig jar fabric, blah, 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 .1, no GUI. Now, what is this doing? It is running this jar file that you downloaded off of the fabric website, link in the description again, and it's just going to run and download files that you need to run a fabric-based Minecraft server. Now, if for whatever reason you get this error message, just update your Java. You'll need to make an account on the Java website, Oracle. You don't need to fully fill it out truthfully. I know a lot of people that just typed in random stuff and they haven't gotten into trouble. But you can fill it out truthfully if you want. The only reason they now need an account is because license permitting has been changed by them. We can still use it for personal use, free of charge. Therefore, just making an account and you're good to go. This error should then not pop up. This can take a little bit because it's trying to push everything everywhere. Personally, I don't like using the start.bat file for this initial one. I just like pressing the button of the jar file. You don't see what it's doing, but you know it's working because you see folders appearing. While that is doing its thing, you'll eventually get a eula.txt and a server.properties, as well as logs. Now, in this logs, at the bottom, it'll just tell you need to agree to the eula. We haven't done that yet because the file wasn't there yet. So we got to modify this. It'll say eula equals false. We need to make that say eula equals true. Then we can close that. Now inside server properties, you can already see I'm using Notepad++ to make this a little bit more readable. There's a lot of stuff. If you're hosting this off of your own home PC, I would recommend leaving the ports the way they are. So the Archon port is for voice chat and the server port is for the actual game. Now, you'll need a port forward. I am not going to explain how to do that right now because my router isn't set up to be able to do it at this point in time. I mean, it is, but I have to go into like settings and call my ISP and stuff because they block all that stuff because they're afraid of people doing dumb things. Recommend just looking up a tutorial on how to port forward if you want to do that. For me right now, this is just going to be a local server which would work within my household. And then view distance 10, server IP. I don't need to change any of this, but if you are going to do port forwarding, I would recommend putting your server IP in. You can set a default game mode and all that stuff. Your spawn protection is down here. This is the protection where people need operator permissions to break blocks. If they do not have operator permissions, they cannot break blocks within 16 blocks of the spawn point. Which, again, is only important if you care about that stuff. You could set that to 0 and now everyone can break anything in the world. Which, honestly, if you're playing with friends, I would recommend it. You can close that then. These are all the game rules. I'll also have those in the description that the Cobblemon server with Abe and Pete and all of them have. These will be in the description. You can just copy paste. I'll even be nice enough to do /game rule in front of them. I'll do that later so you don't have to watch me do it. Now, right here, this is just a fabric server. There's no mods on it just yet. So what we need to do, you go into Minecraft, and then if you click mods, it'll show you a lot of things. You press open mod folder, it'll open the mods folder. You go back one thing. This is your Minecraft that we need to look at. What we're going to do is we're going to click on config, data, I believe data, right? No, we can ignore data. Config, default configs, global packs, cube.js, mods, resource packs. No, you don't need resource packs. I'm being a dumbass. All of those, you want scripts, you Control-C them over to your new server folder, paste them in there. Now, This can take a bit because it's going to be a couple megabytes, and depending on how fast your PC is, this can take anywhere from 5 seconds to 10 minutes. In my case, it's being slow for some reason, probably because I'm also recording this stuff. So yeah, while it's doing all of that, you can then, once it's in there, right, you can choose, if you want to do so, the Star Academy world right here. If you open that, you'll see a lot of files in here. If you want to play on the exact same world as the people on the Cobblemon SMP from Abe and all of them, you will need these files. This is the exact server that they had, and you will need to go in here and you need to create a folder and call it world. Why do you need to call it world? Well, because we didn't edit the name of the world in here, which you can also do if you want to do that. There should be a file tag somewhere that says world name. And yeah, whitelist is right there if you want to turn it on. Spawn monsters, I would recommend setting that to false, because that stops all skeletons, spiders, and all that stuff from spawning. It's also one of the game rules, but hey, that is just instantly changed it for you. I can't really quickly see where it says world. I'm being blind. Y'all probably yelling it's right there, but I don't even think it's in here. Oh, it is. Level minus name equals world. You could change that to be Star Academy world, and then just put the folder in here. Like, you just literally copy this folder and put it in there. Could work. I choose to name it world, and then copy all these files into there. It takes a little second, and then it's in there. Now, in here, just close back out. Once you've done all of that, all you gotta do is press the start.bat. And it'll start loading. And loading, and I'm closing this one. You can close your Minecraft folder, you don't really need it. I'm minimizing it just to make sure. This will always look daunting because sometimes it'll just spam things like error or message problems. Don't worry about it. It's common with Minecraft servers where they give you error messages. Once this is fully done, we can go back into Minecraft multiplayer. In this case, I'm doing a local hosted one, so I can just type localhost. I don't have to give anyone my IP address or anything. Now, if my friends were at my house and we were doing a LAN party, they wouldn't be able to do localhost. They would need my internal IP address, which you can also find by specific ways that you'd figure out in a different video. I don't want to make this too much longer than it has to be. Now, join the server. In this case, nobody is an operator yet, but I spawned into creative because the single player file for this world had my name in it with creative enabled. So yeah. F3B was still on because I'm testing some stuff. Now, this is a Minecraft server. People could join it. It is fully running. I can kill me by typing kill Haneth in the commands. There we go. Keep inventory is true because I set that up in my single player world. But otherwise you'd have to go and do /game, which I can't do here, so I have to do it in the console. Game rule, and I don't want to do it in the console because it doesn't autocomplete. So you type op Haneth. Now I am an administrator on the server, so I can actually go in game and type /gamerule. doMobSpawning, false, /gamerule, do raids, like all that stuff, right? That will be in the description. disableRaids is what it's called. ElytraMovementCheck, we can turn that to false. That's just so that if you're flying, you don't get kicked with flying as disabled. disableRaids is so that if you do happen, you won't come across pillagers out in the world, I believe. They're just completely disabled that way. Mob spawning you want false so that you don't have skeletons roaming around your world shooting at you. Sleeping percentage is just so that if there's 10 people on the server and only 3 of them are in bed, the actual next day comes. It's pretty self-explanatory. Trader spawning is to stop traders from spawning, like wandering traders. If you do this file through this map that I just showed you, you'll even have Sister Joy here. Is it Joy? I forget. I haven't watched Pokemon long enough. And the shop will be here with all the items to buy. Your points will be there once you get some. Once you've got this fully set up, there's one more thing you can change if you so desire, because if you've noticed, let me get rid of this waypoint real quick from killing me. There are mobs slash Pokemon, Cobblemon, what do you want to call them, spawning in these spawn area. Why is that beacon still there? Okay, well, there's a bug going on with my game. I'll fix that later. They are spawning because we haven't changed one last config file. Now, if you want to change that, it's in configs, academy, and it's called Pokemon_spawn. You edit these, and if you change this 10 to 120, now you'll have the exact same setting. You'll have to restart the server by making it stop and then restarting it. It's not the end of the world. Go back in here, double click start.bat. It'll load back up, and after a while you can connect again. Once you've done all of that, you should have a functioning server for Cobblemon. Now, port forwarding, I don't have a video out of the top of my head that I can recommend to watch. It is not the most difficult thing in the world. It is just not recommended by most people to do so because there are small nuances that if you make mistakes, people could attack your system. I don't think people will, but if you're going to make a public server, I wouldn't recommend self-hosting. I would heavily recommend you go and look into something like a VHS, virtual VPS, virtual private server. I believe it's this one. Yeah. So the only difference with this is setting up the server is going to be different because this company has a Ubuntu setup, unless you go for like a Windows VPS, but a Windows VPS is going to cost you a lot more money a month than an actual cloud VPS, right? It doesn't change much, but it uses Ubuntu instead of Windows, so you wouldn't be able to follow this tutorial to a T. Now, server's back up. I can play by myself because I don't have friends. I mean, I do, but they don't want to play Cobblemon. And as you can see, this beacon is still a bane of my existence. But if I kill all the Pokemon, this is not nice to them, I know, but I want to show you that it works. Once all the Pokemon are gone, they should now no longer spawn within the Star Academy area. Let me just make sure that I have this setting right so you can actually make sure. 128, 128. We will not see any Pokemon on the minimap because they're too close to the spawn. If we fly out a bit, we should start seeing them spawn again. There's a chicken. Where's the Pokemon? Nah, there's Zigzagoon. Is that Zigzagoon? Did I get that right? I don't play Pokemon. Wait. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I got it right. Okay. I'm happy now. But yeah. If there's any questions, feel free to go into Abe's Discord, Pete's Discord, or in my own Discord, I guess. Shoot some questions. You can ask in the comments. I'll keep an eye on them from now and then. I might not reply within the same day, but I'll do my best. On that note, I wish you all luck with your Cobblemon servers. and have fun catching them all. See you guys.